tweet from Meghan McCain that I'm going to read you here. I honestly never thought I would live to see the day when it was this culturally uncool to be a Democrat. As someone who has been socially ostracized for being a Republican my entire life, let me tell you, this is a brave new world out here.
Here's a way of thinking about it, maybe, is that while we're in this moment where a lot of kind of center left career political commentators are noticing a reality that Reason has been covering for more than 10 years, and walking outside and saying, gosh, that sky is blue. Welcome to all of that. Meanwhile, it's interesting to reflect on the number of issues that Americans overwhelmingly believe and have long believed, and yet we're on the wrong side of, according to the aforementioned culture that Nick was talking about, that tended to dominate. The last 10 years, beginning around 2014, it became this time where there was an ever broadening and ever deepening tax on what you could say. Everyone kind of understood the deal that if you said the wrong thing about gender pronouns, about, in my case, in my neighborhood, of an admissions change policy in the local middle school system, you could be branded a racist or a fill in the blankist constantly. And so Americans just sort of learned and had to what not to say, what to just kind of swallow your tongue out. Okay, whatever. It's not worth the hassle to do this. But meanwhile, the underlying policies, and some of these are being changed right now by Donald Trump by executive order, were never popular. Affirmative action in the terms of racial preferences have been underwater for a really long time. It's like 70% of Americans say no. The term Latinx or Latine, it's 1 or 2% adoption or enjoyment by people who would be categorized under those terms. 70%, 67%, something like that of Americans. It's like, yeah, if you're born a male or a female, you should compete in that category. But a lot of these things, people understood that it wasn't worth the hassle to mention this. And so a lot of that there's a cultural exhale that happens right now because Donald Trump is someone who says, I don't care. I don't play by those rules. I'll say anything, do anything. And it's maybe even less like he's our man, he's our champion. It's that he's absolutely an avatar of, I'm not going to do it that way. And meanwhile, the actual elected Democrats in the Biden administration, infamously, and should go down in infame, started to act on this in the era of COVID by adopting all of these explicitly censorious policies. Just today, this is a stupid example, but I have a YouTube channel in which old episodes of The Independents exist, the TV show that I did with Kennedy and Camille Foster back in 2014-ish. And there was an episode in which Kennedy was interviewing some woman who was sort of a vaccine denier and challenging her on it. We just got a takedown notice from YouTube because we're spreading COVID misinformation. There's all of this, and some of this was sort of directed or encouraged by the Biden administration. All the censoriousness of telling you what you can't say or think or believe. People got sick of that. We're Americans. We don't like that stuff. So I think that is a cultural, and politics doesn't lead this. Politics does, at the end of it, cause the people who work in politics, like Meghan McCain, like Ezra Klein, like Matt Iglesias, like all these people, causes them to notice things. They all work in politics. I think the overwhelming thing here is a cultural response to being told what not to say, and people got sick of it.
That was a clip from the most recent Reason Roundtable podcast. To watch the full episode, click here, and to watch another clip, you can click over here. And remember to get the Reason Roundtable, subscribe to it wherever you get podcasts. Do it today. You'll be glad you did.